no say NDC for no. Alistair mama wa kwaba.
Yeah, me also.
Say be aboko.
Same CC.
Eye no ko ye.
I me sre mo amount to me am bomb in someone many abre. Momo dia is not late.
Yo
better late than never. Baby I go first can go ye fan koto.
Ka worry.
Which am bra and my huno for a long time I've not been able to see.
2019.
Yeah.
We
bonded. Yeah. Yes. Chief Julius Debra. Wherever he school business forum no di market.
Yeah.
It was an excellent program. Inti that was senior konya there mama no producer. Teddy. By late there but.
One pa.
And some more okay can bebre no cre. So me can say bebre no cre. Our approach since we came to government, we promised oral. Nyoma you can see a be no. Oral immediately the members of the oral no ye be ministers. I thought they should have been replaced with other people so that oral will run the 4-year cycle. It would not stop. Because corruption was not only at the national level, it was at the regional level, it was at the district level, it was in every corner, the nook and cranny. How did they break into our forest, into Galamsey and other things? So we didn't need to stop. The idea behind oral didn't need to stop. It needed to run 4 years in order to unearth corruption in national life that have been perpetuated by the MPP of Ghanaians. But we stopped somewhere, others took up ministerial positions, and now we don't know what has come of it. When you talk, they said it's working. Me, I'm part of the government. I work for the NDC to come to power. So, like I told you the other time, you could be in the same party, but your opinions will not be taken at the center for decision making.
And by force.
So we'll continue to express ourselves. Not that we want to oppose what the party is doing, but look, if you have a difficulty at the Attorney General's department in prosecuting people, I told you the other time, recruit more lawyers and get them to work. Tax them. In 2 days, I want this results from you. Get prosecutors or convert people to become prosecutors and pay them fees in order to get those who have stolen our monies in barefaced thievery for 8 years. We saw it in our eyes. We couldn't stop it. Most of the things that happened, for instance, the Buffer Stock Company Limited, when people were demonstrating at the headquarters and other things, Ghanaians, we all saw it. The contractors were complaining. Nobody raised the finger until they left power and we saw what the young man had done. Look at the amount of money he took. Look at the National Service Secretariat. Do you know how the National Service Secretariat, do you know how the National Service Scheme came about? Please, go and get the history to give the youth opportunity to enter national life and know about public service and working in our society. So after years of education, they give you that window of opportunity to go and work and taste national life. Send you buying a Juma city. So most of it was teaching. And then you go into the rural countryside, have an experience, see some rural school buildings where children who are in a cocoa growing area, yet they don't have a proper school building. You understand? You come into clear reality of the state where rural areas, they possess the wealth. Yet we go and draw that wealth and bring it to the urban area for consumption and don't replace what yes. So yes, the service scheme give us, some of us, an eye opener about our rural communities. It gave us an opportunity to go back to the classroom to impart the knowledge that we gained some years on. What has happened to the national service scheme? We brought somebody like Gifty Owari, or Papa Fred Owari, I didn't want to or no rap politics when good move. So what came of you, Gifty Owari? Look at the mess you caused. Or done a lunch every day UK, every day.
No, come on, order pizza.
Yes. No. You see, watch it when you give free UK. Watch it.
And the matter was the
watch it saying.
Watch it.
Nagana watching yede.
Or tell difference, no. So
that be minimum na encrophobic crap pizza edit London.
Wanya papa watch
it be any besi
watch any doctor na bi wa ha no kwepo na obenya bi wo choko obenya nkra doctor ni ade no the free UK packaging be ba British Airways na besi Emirates na besi no akoji
packaging. I don't know the 6 hours
if we are serious about prosecuting the national service scheme for the sake of the scheme itself, the intention behind it, how we have been able to modify it up until this day, it has become an authority. Why? What is it? Why should you allow people to pilfer such matters? I know why. Why? What is it? So much money. And when you compare it to the past, people were shot in 1979. I always want to recount the history because those people, we use them for chopsticks. Yes, we use them to wipe the face of corruption as if we were going to do something about corruption in national life after shooting them. We have done nothing. The blood they spilled for nothing. Today you see people, look at, I always say, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he was a leader from 27 January 1978 of the People's Movement for Freedom and Justice. He was General Secretary. Pa Willie and Co were members of that group. Orakwesi Pratt, they were all there. Today, what has come of those ideas that they had in 1979? Let the blood flow. What has come of it? You, Nana Addo, your Minister of Finance is on the run. You have kept quiet all this while. We have not heard from you. Speak up. We want to hear you. That's your cousin. He's on the run for mismanaging the economy for 7.5 years. What has come of it?
Well, say you seen there may be optics, but some optics and come out. Now, Kowu Business Forum no. Akufo-Addo ko charge John Mahama, and the way people went gaga. Say how? Nipa no to me kan kire ne say because senior offer so say ni nua no omre fie.
Power the fan.
And people were recounting, sharing pictures as how Nana Akufo-Addo say John Mahama eko fie no. Okay, maybe. Tama Ghana for 2 abetia John Mahama no Akufo-Addo be president for the first time no. Omu share our public space on share any or exchange any pleasantries or Chinese MP na watwem. And people have issues with John Mahama laughing with Akufo-Addo like that.
Mami can't.
And nothing I almost say mono serious. Some bejele amanfo.
You see, don't misinterpret that picture to mean that the NDC.
I'm just telling you what your party supporters are saying.
That's what I'm saying, that the party supporters must come along with this thing. That it's about leadership styles. Oh, Nana Addo is the type that will not forgive, but JM is the type that will forgive. JM believes that, oh, after all, you'll be given opportunity, and I have the opportunity now. I'm in control. So as for me, I ran an open door policy. You understand? Yes, unlike Nana Addo who will say that I'm president, I don't even want you to come close to me. When even it's an international meeting that you have to come, shaking my hand is a problem. But he has an open heart, open mind. So it's about leadership styles and the approach. You mentioned somebody, Lee Kuan Yew. Before he became in 1955, there were others. You understand? They had gone, Singapore had gone into a union after independence with Malaysia, and the relationship had failed. So in 1965, he decided to take on the country on his own and get a group of people, pay them well in the public service job that they will do for the state, and then retain the best in that public service, have a timeline with them to achieve something for the state, and then hand over that structure that he puts in place as a government for his people to follow. Today you see some of them who were deputy presidents are now in charge of the country, and the roadmap he put in place. Why? Singapore is a tropical country, small one that appears in the tropics. Go and find out. He has the same conditions as Ghana. Only that the advantage he had was at this spot where naturally it was a naturally caved in port that could allow for ship building. So they decided to invest in the shipbuilding industry. Can you imagine that when the PSC Tema shipyard went down in the 80s, many Ghanaians flocked to Singapore to go and work in the ship industry. Today, if you go, you have generations of Ghanaians whose fathers left Tema and went to Singapore to work, who are now also shipbuilders in Singapore because of their parents. They were given opportunity and they saw it as a rare skill that came with them. So they give them education to be able to also join the bandwagon after their fathers had retired to take up the mantle there in Singapore and be building ships and other things. So there's a plan. Read the National Development Planning Commission, 40 years development plan. We have a vision. Brilliant ideas. It's about implementation. It's about coming together on the consensus building in order to get the results for the people. That's what we are not doing. Look, if you take the cocoa sector, for instance, every time I will not stop talking about the cocoa. So long as I see them on the cocoa tour, I will never stop talking. I've told you that tour is much ado about nothing. Look at the way they disintegrated the cocoa sector. The way they mismanaged it deliberately. Yes, it was an attempt to collapse the state interest in the cocoa sector to allow for private sector participation. The laissez-faire type that goes on in Abidjan, that goes on in Guinea, that goes on in Equatorial Guinea, that goes on in Togo and Benin. That is exactly what they wanted to do. So strategy first one was to collapse the state interest, which is the purchasing arm, the PBC of the Cocobod. When we were leaving power, they were 30%. By the time Nana Addo was leaving power, they were 0%. Why? They sold off their assets. They were owing banks. They had to hedge their assets in order to pay the banks. Golden Beam Hotel is for PBC.
Yeah.
They have a share not back factory somewhere in Bupe.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's still operating effective. Why can't we revive PBC to bring it back on its feet? It's part of the reset agenda of the Cocobod to revive PBC and CPC in order to take 50% of what we say our cocoa production. Yes, so that the production cycle will not stop for those even in the free zones area. Barry Calibod, Cargill, Tuton, Ecom, all of them who are in that sector who need cocoa all year round and don't get it, ADM and other things. By this government decision, they're resetting the cocoa sector. Now we'll be giving 50% directly to the market, yes, through the PBC, through the CPC and other things. So we have come to restructure the cocoa sector. I'm saying the cocoa sector is on its belly financially. Or they cut at 2.9 billion. Yes, and Shrekanibi. Musimu 156,000 hectares of our cocoa farms have been affected by the cocoa disease, CASFID. So you took a loan of $350 million. You have to pay $61 million every year after you start the project. You took the money for 156,000 hectares. You delivered only 40,000 hectares. A difference of 116,000 hectares. Sikana and Sohwa, you took Bank of Ghana money, 700 million, in addition to the 350 million, in order to execute the project. The money is finished. You couldn't deliver the farms. So now those farms are wasted.
Who owns that farm?
It's for smallholder farmers.
Okay.
But the disease has taken over the farm. So we took a World Bank loan in order to resuscitate those farms, get them back, and then hand them over back to the owners in order to run them so that we get the cocoa for sale. They took the money. Look at what they did. They won't stop there. Ex-mineral water. They won't even stop there. Look at what they did to the syndicated loan system. When the new Galamsey was taking our cocoa away, they went to the international market to go and fake them that they were going to produce 800,000 tons of cocoa. They deviated by 45%. It has never happened before. The highest deviation had been 15%. They deviated by 45%. They delivered only 443,000 tons. And the cocoa at the time was being sold for 2,661 tons. So the following year when the price went up, we owed cocoa. We had to go and use cocoa beans to pay for the old differences. At that old price, when cocoa was selling at 13,000, we couldn't take advantage of the market. So when the beans that we were owing them, we paid, they decided to withdraw the loan syndication that they were giving us for the forward sales on the international market. We lost the syndicated loan under the MPP. It had been running for 32 years. It gave us a guaranteed market a price throughout the season. There were no confrontations during the season. Once the price was pegged by government, the farmers came through with it, and there was no disturbances like we have today. It is because of the introduction of the new off-taker system, the MPP, after losing the syndicated loan, introduced. That is why we have come face to face with this problem that we are having, that we have to reduce cocoa prices mid-season. That's never happened in a long time.
So what do you think is the way forward when it comes to handling the cocoa sector very well? Because truth is, Sawoko, Western region, Eastern region, some parts of Ashanti region, cocoa plantations, the Galamsey, indiscriminate plowing of the land, your production, or your dang a beco form, because cocoa will take some years to grow. And sana aswaba.
Yeah. So first, best agronomic practices. You are talking about we shooting up in terms of production. Yes. Even though the lands are gone, those farms we have, there's something we call vertical expansion of the farm.
Okay.
The vertical expansion is about looking after that even small acreage you have very well. Spray very well. Cut out and prune very well to allow for aeration, get the sun to get in, you understand, and then apply fertilizer. So within that same range of acreage, though you have lost much of it, you will get more cocoa because at the end of the year, and to manage your pair, or even in that same small space. So there's vertical expansion. So we must turn our attention to helping our farmers to invest properly, especially in the kind payment by Cocobod. Cocobod no otua cash and kind. Kind, you know, your fertilizer or the Bama farmers not a subsidized price or free technical services, the spraying machines, the weedicides and other things that they give. They must look at that and then look at anti-galamsey laws. That's obiko chwa cocoa gu. Not the correct galamsey. Sign it and community should deal with the person before the state should deal with the person. We must have laws
of justice.
I'm not preaching. When some say the community should deal with the person. Traditional laws, no. So we did Yamansa assassin or he no better to Wokrono. So we must apply those laws. If you don't get the communities involved directly in resolving the matters of galamsey, we will not get to the end of it. We must empower the communities, those who own the land, those who have direct access to use the land.
Okay, as I'm see what I have no.
Yeah.
Time and I must call her now. I must say, Chromo for a person more attacking. That wasn't the first of its kind, though. If you ask Naimus for no paying for, almost say, Omutumu could do some area and the people will just cross them and want to attack them because Omufri se Ombabeji Oman will be an from because Obiton and Mon White Obiton Fufu Kosa. If you have visited Galamsey side before, but I know you know Fufu
legalize your operations. It's not difficult to legalize your operations. Legalize it. Why do you want to do illegal mining? Go to Australia, go to Canada. They do mining there. Just legalize your operations. Let's know what you are bringing out of the earth. Assassin idea. You be 2 years. So people say Udidimu and says Udidimu now say no because you would to Asuko. So what land should we leave for the next generation? So legalize your operations. This one is not difficult. Go and take a license. Do the right thing. That's why I say if you get the communities involved, get the districts involved, they will see which land is under attack by illegal miners. And then go and legalize their operations. Help them with whatever they need as a district assembly. And if it's genuine mining, why not? You get consultancy services for them. Let them bring out the minerals. Today, Gold Board is there to pay well and other things. You understand? Don't let's look at it holistically. It's not about, it's a war, yes. But let's have alternative methods to get them out of the galamsey.
And that is why the concept is in.
Yes. I know now, wherever your soul is. We lost them, yes. They're on a mission.
Yes.
To find alternative livelihoods for those in Galamsey and other things. So, your money government effort and American say we must put in anti-Galamsey laws to save the cocoa sector. You understand? To deter people from going for the mineral rather than getting the cocoa. Look, I did an evaluation. If just 1 hectare of cocoa, you grow it for 30 years, you get about 960,000 Ghana cedis from yields that the cocoa give you in about 30 years. If you go for rare earth minerals within the land and you go for the gold, you can get less of gold values. If you had waited for 30 years, you would have benefited, the land would have been there for you, you could have cut the cocoa and grown another one. But if you go for the galamsey and you don't repair the land and you do it illegally, it will come at a cost to the next generation.
Yeah.
That's what we are talking about. So, you want to get into mining, we are not stopping you. Artisanal mining, they are developing people to do other things. Take a license, do the right thing so that you save the environment. You understand? Cocoa sector now, Mekano, is related. It's down for Free Galamsey, and we left the communities out. We left the districts out. We wanted to solve from the national level. And we're not getting to the end of the problem. Unya financing the cocoa purchase crop and no idea how abano. Sisiano government say obe launching cocoa bonds. And yet the boy edumu launching yomunya 2.2 billion na. Omo de to 355,000 tons of cocoa. Omo ko ton cocoa ni we mu fa sika ne mra ne mfa ma omo mo to bonds na besine. Ye hu be sika ne fa.
That's my problem.
I know what you are talking about. People, they have raised issues about prosecution of those who are in the helm of affairs. Yoko is on them. You can find out. But what I'm saying is that the new financing model that they are bringing will involve domestic bonds. That's a domestic syndicated loan system, not an international one. A domestic one where me and you can buy bonds, companies, corporate trusts, private equities, pension funds and other things can go into and purchase those bonds. When we raise those monies, we use it to buy the cocoa. And then when we sell the cocoa on the international market, we bring the money back to pay for the interest to those who supported it. Then we'll have alternative financing too from the International Finance Corporation. We are going to get $300 million to help sustain the industry. But we have to clean the books first.
Yeah.
Like I told you.
It's very
yes, the 32.9 million. We are paying $61 million every year for the cocoa rehabilitation that we said we were doing that we couldn't deliver. That loan is there. We are waiting to pay. Then even the bill, the sacks, we have over-imported the sacks and we don't need much of it. Bebre akaport ompo ayen clear. You understand? Esika bebre and
where are they?
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm saying that I am.
You will find them in the areas deceiving the farmers that
yes.
are banning Yahweh.
Yes,
that's my problem.
If you are punished them like we are saying, but and make us say, until my sorry say, I won't stop. If you stop, on some would propaganda no to water it later. They know how prices of cocoa are put out there in the international market. They know we as a government don't control the international prices there, and they know that when the international prices come, we have to give a certain percentage to the farmer. They at one time when the cocoa was selling at 13,000, were giving just 22% to the farmer at that 3,100.
Is it not 35?
It was not. Check. 35. You understand? 22%. And they got away with it. They didn't hold any cocoa tours. They didn't go anywhere. When they dipped their hand into the stabilization fund and chopped the money, the stabilization fund was to cushion farmers in times like this, when the prices will fall below a certain limit, and government will take the money it has accrued to cushion the prices. Omadi, Oforata Trust no visa a stabilization fund no. Almost a good syndicated loan. So there was no guaranteed price throughout the season. That is why when the prices went up and the farmers didn't take advantage, they were in power. They kept quiet. And now when the prices went down and we went to reduce, they jumped onto the market because they knew that the new purchasing system they had brought was to operate an automatic adjustment formula. Should the prices go up, the farmers will benefit directly. And should it come down, it will affect the farmers. You understand? So the price volatility in that market was going to affect farmers. If it went up, it was going to benefit them more money in their pocket. And if it went down, it means that their prices were going to reduce. They knew it. And they went for it. That is the Abidjan type. It's the laissez-faire. And now it has collapsed in our face. Even in this collapse, John Dramani Mahama had to take a bitter pill when he was reducing the cocoa prices from 3,600 to 2,587. He took into consideration many things. Especially if you look at under the MPP, they said they were at 3,001. Yes, but what inflation was there? The rising cost of goods and services in the system was at 54%. And the dollar exchange rate, yes, was also at 16. So if you check at 3,100, you could get only about $170. What could he buy under that inflation? But under John Dramani Mahama, 2,587 will give you about $252. That's about $80 more than their peak price when it was at $13,000. Today, that 2,500 John Dramani Mahama is paying is 130% of the FOB price. It means you are paying more. So our prices on our cocoa has become uncompetitive. Is that the word? On the international market. Because the prices are too high for what we are paying for our farmers here. Abidjan is paying 1,220. Haven't you heard?
Yeah.
As for Guinea-Bissau, they are paying 800 cedis for a bag of 64 kilos.
And these are the people who are almost say that their next step is to petition the Asante Hine to talk to Mahama about.
So you
don't control the prices. That's what I'm saying. Even Mahama, I said,
and yes,
if you look at the reforms at the cocoa sector alone that they are bringing, look, first to clean the books, the debt restructuring, even
and cleaning the books should go in line with the prosecution.
That's what we are saying.
Because
and should engage those who muddied the place, those who stole the money.
At least say
those who brought the debt.
Yes. My problem was that you see. Look at the fantastic work I've been listening to. You see, only Cocobod, but look at his passion for that industry. Cocobod guy sat down. You see, me firefighting because fire nearby. They were lying about Randy Abimu. Then people have to come in. Answer you who the AC. If we had arrested them,
and Randy Abe has been consistent with new issues, trying to let Ghanaians understand.
I'm saying that you see, the same people. If you're doing MPP, be careful. Then the guy not an you were list of those they have jailed. Or Momunjelo be.
And I'm not catching will say NDC for Namasa narrative no Ejina.
They will tell you say
because you are 15 months or so.
Cocoa now Okano. You are bringing all this fantastic results. But some unchi bianti. And
that is why I'm not done play. I had on the wire once a woman do a giddy. Cocoa, Fubimacasa, your mama,
are top planes for
member of parliament.
Yes, nothing is that true.
No, it's not true.
Yes.
So why would you lie like that?
You are dealing with, you see, men can't say Kwafo Evono, but you see, Omonte Asieno. So why are you careful? Why has the MPP, other than Omufi said, between now and 2027, no, their only campaign message is to go to cocoa farms and lie to the farmers. And some of them will believe, meaning, Sabi, what in the class there, wouldn't be a tear. Say, hey, Papa, now what take cocoa no? Or now, Santo playing 4
and or
did them. Somebody will believe it.
Power
because
who
can
the way it is said.
The way it is said.
NDC for no
communication machine. I don't see why my brother Alistair is not even part of that, because seriously, Ejuma oye no. Means me can say ministers go.
Ejuma oye a campaign time mo ko Kumasi ni ada areas. Yeah, and number be na engage am for na omonso ne nam.
What I am saying that, you see.
But then omon kind of bread.
Me and na office be. Ni enye so inform look.
Me make sure for narrative ne say share 4 years and chebeba CCA.
Free SHS.
Yeah.
You know those that they are na minister ne. Omoko programmer, then they send you the press statement. Media house model Montro na Mumfanko. The people were not involved. Adena Kwabenya was there. 2015 whatever. But still I near the cut MPP na DPS, but that was a lie. Where Coco de look. A good list of many people are around. But still harm or more yet the body politic of NDC no airtime. Because in some more can. What I say?
We must rebut them.
Yes.
We must create a firewall to fight them on the cocoa issue.
Who create a firewall?
We have to. Look. You
no,
see,
some of you will do it, but once communication is very important. But it is expensive.
I told you how and why I got up, not to interrupt you, from my corner and decided to defend Cocobod. One chairman of Swampov. He's the board chairman. I've known him when I joined politics. Somebody with the Biameka Abadaya Ukitani to say, maybe. He loves everybody. He understands cocoa farm. He comes from the eastern region. He himself has cocoa farms. His father was a cocoa farmer. So yes, he's so resting. So, and if you check his upbringing, he's somebody who brings honesty and integrity to the cocoa board. If you put him aside, the CEO, for 23 years, every morning, Randy Abbey was on national television. Yeah. Did you doubt his intelligence? Did you doubt his credibility, his honesty? And were you at any time caught up with the way he presented himself? No. So such a person, he's in charge of the day-to-day running of the Cocobod to revive it. In the public, he has the steel of truthfulness and integrity in place in order to reverse the fortunes of the place. Unlike Joseph Boyene, the former politician minister, you understand? Then you have
working free.
Yes, Dr. Kutiati.
Working free.
It will come back to bite those who were making noise about prosecution.
This somebody who Kutiati in charge of operations, deputy CEO. John Mama's choices, when you examine them properly, you see that this is people he has brought together. He was there before with Opuni and others.
Okay.
Then he went home under the MPP. He has brought him back for 2 years to come and share his experience in the research agenda at Cocobod. He's in charge of operations, working with the LBCs, helping them to restructure their books, helping them to get seed money, and then to see to their operations. Then you have Dr. Francis Ba, another person who was at CHED, Cocoa Health and Extension Division. I'm sure you know.
That's the man they wanted to take away with those lies.
Yes. They lied about them. Even with Dr. Kutiati, they made us to believe that they were MPP implants. No. JM appointees, they were with Opuni in the other time. Yeah. He even testified in the Opuni case, which is Dr. Francis Ba. He is in charge of quality control and agronomy. Or say, Cocoa no, and yet asase kese bebreo. Ketua na esi suka kra no. Yeniye. That's why I told you about the vertical expansion.
Yeah.
It was the one who educated me on that one. Yeah. That even with what we have, if we invest properly into that aspect of it, the agronomic aspect of it, we're going to reap cocoa in millions of tons. You understand? He has the experience. He has the industry at heart. Then the Superman, Atu Boatin, and Konono, his understanding for finance and administration, it will come at an extra cost to the state or Cocobod as consultancy.
They wanted to finish him.
It's a lie. All the things they said about him, conflict of interest. Look, who said it? Asifwa. in charge of controversy. MPO Tafo in charge of controversy in parliament. They be no be na controversial issues in kwa.
Lies, no cry.
Lies. This one he brought about Atubuati. Deep lies. Atubuati has a district level arrangement with the PBCs, which is PBC, to store his cocoa because in Volta and Oti, he's now building his warehouse when he founded Atlas Commodities. So he has a public agreement with PBC to store his cocoa there after it's graded and sealed. And he pays to the effect from October 2023. Then again, you say that he's stifling PBC from getting funds. He is not in charge of managing the fortunes of the LBCs. He's the director of operations, the CEO in charge of operations, who directs the LBCs as to what they should do and to be able to help them to get their seed money. So you cannot even put that at his doorstep. It's also a falsehood. Then you say that he has not resigned his position as managing director of Atlas Commodities. He has. He did that in January 2025. And then he took up the job in February. He reported in April 2025 for the job. So he had given up his shares, even in Atlas Commodities. When he knew he was coming close to Cocobod, he decided to use his own funds to buy cocoa in the 2024-2025 season. So he does not go to Cocobod for seed fund again.
No,
he uses conflict of interest. It's that same person. His international experience. He worked with the PricewaterhouseCoopers as an auditor. So there's global best practices and also with the International Finance Corporation. So he has peers around the world who are in this finance sector, and everybody is looking up to each other to do the right thing across where they work. So there's global best practices that he has to uphold where he is as FNA in order to clean the books of Cocobod to get it ready for those international loans and other things. Look, under MPP, he raised 100 million from the IFC for Cocobod. There's 300 million waiting for us, but we have to clean our books. We have to restructure the debts, get it to legacy debts, and then get the books clean, and then get the Cocobod to stand on his feet in order to receive the money to help with the alternative financing under the Cocobod.
Okay, but I still insist cocoa issues no. NDC
yes. That's what I'm saying. Look, Jerome Sam is doing his best, but we need to beef up. Like I told you, me and you sitting here, it should be our job, and Cocobod must see the effort we put in, and reward. It can be long distance, but it must come for the effort we are putting. If you commit your time every 30 minutes or 1 hour of your program to let us educate the cocoa farmer, that we NDC, we love the cocoa farmer. The basis of we coming to power, even J.J. Rawlings in the early 80s, he had to jack up, remove his t-shirts, go to the hinterlands and help carry cocoa that had been locked up because of lack of good roads, because of lack of transportation and other things in the 80s, in order to get the cocoa to the ports for export, to earn foreign exchange, to run the country, 1982, 1983. Ejashi any buy 1983 cocoa she bebre. Yes, he decided to restructure Cocobod and put the 1984 Cocobod Act in place in order to support farmers, to get new seedlings, to go back and replant, to get the cocoa industry in place. By 1987, we have come back to where we had lost our position in 1983. And now, J.J. Rawlings. We brought a syndicated loan because there was disturbance in the purchase of the cocoa system. There was no minimum guaranteed price. And there was price fluctuations and oscillations. And always there was agitations when you had to close in the price mid-season, like it's happening now. So this cocoa syndicated loan gave a direct guaranteed minimum price. Yeah, two price that is how government was going to purchase it. Or how did you collapse the syndicated loan you were MPP for? You couldn't take advantage of the high price. And now that the low price has come and we are reflecting what the change should be, we are around telling the cocoa farmer that we hate them. And now what our mom? 8 years then I am mom.
And make us say, to support you, our messages should go in there. We can't sit in a crap.
Somebody must drive it.
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
Apart from driving it, our messages should be out there. But what they are doing is that almost here and almost Parliament, I don't know whether they are on recess.
Yeah, Parliament is on recess.
Their tax is to go to all the farming communities. Our messages should get there because for me, MPP in trouble there, you should know them. As someone look,
cocoa politicians.
Yes.
Almost for National Liberation Movement.
Yes. What I say? One normal start. Look, yesterday I guy be Oba face me no who ejuma. was started or the Basintali or dear Coons so 9 million with this kind. These are all lies. Yes. When the man have even come out to say Obi ne need be din come but because there is no budget, I know Basin own to me spending 9 million. And the lies are too much. Into one shot, we have very gullible people on Facebook and the social media.
Yes, because and then with AI, you'll be better to
your answer to what you are saying. Most of the people who got into CEO positions and other things are communicators themselves.
Yes.
So that's the mistake they did. Randy Abbey himself is a communicator, so he thought he could defend himself. No, you throw jabs that you have some allow. That's why in Animal Farm, the pigs decided to rear the dogs in order to back the day they will need them. You understand? In politics, yes. Oh, look, Sami Jeffrey is a communicator. He's at the gold board. But anytime you want to attack him, I want to punch you first. I see you from a distance. Yeah. You understand? Yes. Apart from him, even our own Prince Minka, he was here with us. He's there. Anytime you want to attack the gold board, I share information with him quickly. I don't know how I'll get the information. I'll share with him. He'll reverse the information back. This is the situation and other things. I have an instinct to save those who I know who have gotten jobs. It's not about what they will give me, but if I also protect them to succeed, I also stand somewhere and I'm proud to know them or to have associated with them at one time or the other.
So
you understand?
When him says I deal with buy no appointment na omoye no, somebody made that analysis. I say, why say mom and Basintale was one name that was key. Say organizational skills for one.
Yeah.
Enisa okoyin to CEO position kaibeya omon pekas bi mano no na dwuma ye Roman ambassador etiti senka koku asem we buy ono na commande ono wa Ashanti region ochno ha na still na base no, but it was early days and we thought say oh okay bia but say I mean he
was in communications, I know.
Yeah.
So he thinks that he can defend what is being said about him. But you have an administrative duty to do every morning. You cannot go to the radio as a freelance.
You
understand?
Somewhere that
yes. So you must throw to those who are free to speak out for you.
Support, There's a guy.
And some of them, so I'm a corporate affairs and crop for normal farm on so
there's a guy, Beninsia. I think you know him.
Yeah, Beninsia.
Beninsia. Also, energy expert. Look, the last was talking about Boss Energy. I was so pissed off. What's then? We quite tickets and a friend. Oh. Guess me as say Kogu Boss Energy that Boss Energy they don't even have a reserve, and I'm saying what is this man? When him say deliberate when tickets here finished, he couldn't even call one of the NDC guys to even come and retort say oh yeah so me dey see here
and I may say NDC for
and
keep on repeating
he does that deliberately
omo tembia omo any one krofa wo attack omo
yes
what them my Alistair Nelson ha now one start attack and also on fish out small mistakes now on shots in who did it people will start calling him.
You know some bad experience I had. A minister friend of mine was being bashed and I was asleep. Somebody woke me up that hey, your friend, look at what they are doing to him. So I got a chance to come back and then come and refresh tell the facts about him and other things. He called the people who bashed him and gave them bags of money.
Yeah, they do it.
And then me,
they do
who came defending him and putting out his good side.
I know what
he gave me peanuts. He sent me peanuts. You know what? But out of respect, because I didn't go and do it for pay. Yeah. I was not expecting anything.
You see, Alistair,
you understand?
I say so
I kept quiet.
I say one.
But maybe when he said they should have their game and try to engage Ghanaians.
Philosophy so Alistair, they are toast Kwame Nkamu. They are always with us. What I say. So let me tell you something. NDC.
I give him favor more than
they get better packages. Seriously, they get better packages.
But what we are doing is risky. Look at the time we are here.
Look,
talking about national politics.
See,
and this
when we started NDC, no PSC. Those days, 1990, you 10 or who? When you 10 now, you refer. Do you know why? Because what look, when say Cocobod,
yeah,
the ET has to come and call some of us. And a year counter demonstration against Cocobod, said yesterday, Patriotic Front of Student Journalists. Unim said this girl was for no nim said Makwaji me placard the aba Hollis son of the course size so a small girl.
Oh, okay.
So Hollisamo demonstration to me. You know demonstration a queer placard there puno into ye TV na papa who say hollis so mo MPP say na placard na ukra and upon was ato there placard and say oh this can when me say plaque S3 but when you do all these things now omo feel say because you can't do the job you want to mean at times see okay you see omo yen deliberately beninsia ba as one can't find this one about energy no airtime. And then
he's at the Ministry of Energy.
Yes.
He has a desk. Beninsia was at Ghana Gas.
Yes.
He has a desk.
No.
He works at the Ministry of Energy right now.
Yes.
If you are, let's go, I'll show you his office. I'm telling you. He's there. He's not been removed. He was brought from Ghana Gas. So he has been given a heavy desk and he's go and see how he operates at the place.
I say boss energy no. A man kwani TikTok ni Facebook guest ni go and that boss energy don't even have a reserve. I said what is this man saying?
Okay, time and strong. Unfortunately, and we have to end some mantem. Now we
become
hey Debbie.
No, I'm catching Cocobod before say. I'm focused about their job. Assignment to restructure the Cocobod is important to revive the sector.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. No sremo. Some MPP for na mumbi some question. 8 years ago, when we lost the syndicated loan, why didn't they come to you to talk to you? When they refused to bring your fertilizers and they sold it to Burkina, why didn't they come to you? When they lost the stabilization fund, why didn't they come to you to share those notes with you? Now we don't have a cushion.
I think some of them will.
When they decided not to complete the cocoa extension rehabilitation project and lost 116,000 after all the money has been paid, why didn't they come to those affected farmers to share information with you that these are hypocrites who were given an opportunity for 8 years and wasted everybody's time in the cocoa sector? Ask how many of them are cocoa farmers. They only pretend. They are people. So I know his father. I went to the same university with him. Alistair Nelson. I led his campaign when he wanted to be Nook's president at the University of Cape Coast. When everybody was against him, I stood for him. Today, look at him. You have come into national politics and you go deceiving people.
How can you say that president at all?
How true is that too? And people are believing Mujanim. Mumfa Koko and Yani bin from Muneniso, Mumantum Wino, Premreke Sien Tatano, and we're from war, then Traodi.
It's sad.
What is sad? How do you lie to that extent? When you destroy the sector to that level, Cocobod is on his belly. You should be telling the truth to the farmers. How you destroy the place and how this new government is doing well to bring it about. It pains me. It hurts me. The energy that is burning in me about the cocoa sector is because, like I told you, I had the opportunity to stay in a rural area through my national service and other things. And my mother's investments and my father's investments after pension were in the rural area. You go, you see people who are more intelligent than you. Me, I went to Achimota School. Golden Gagisburg, NODC Achimota School. I found out from the school library. So I became aware in that environment in the rural area. I read about Joseph Porata, how in 1979 he moved a motion, rural living conditions, and talked about those in the rural areas who were suffering, who were producing the state's resources, yet they had nothing in return for it. What the American said. So those things entered me. And today, you have somebody who is a gunman, Randy Abbey, Cocobod, Muso and Kreninti. What is that? Please, and that's why I've told you that they want to destroy the cocoa sector. They couldn't. Somebody could concern the Nam Cocoa for a year, Dumano. Miss Remo, Cocoa for me who said, Omo Bao Nina, Mudu na Mun say Kiafo. Mamu try MPP for Janasino. Do na Muya party executives, Namudimu Wajim, Mupasemu criticism. The Muyano. Cocoa is Ghana and Ghana is cocoa. Muchancho tia cocoa. Cocoa nusube chancho etiamu. Na mubaba me dunkaya.